Lost in Bikini Bottom. Oh my god. This episode of SpongeBob SquarePants sucks. Here are the reasons why I hate this episode in my opinion. The episode starts while on a normal day in Bikini Bottom. Squidward is taking a relaxing bubble bath and is in a good mood, until he realizes he has to go to work. SpongeBob then comes out of his house in his underwear before he realizes his error and gets dressed as Squidward walks off, but SpongeBob catches up and they start walking to work. SpongeBob goes on about his previous situation, as he feels it and the walk was taking a bit too long, despite Squidward stating they would be to work early. However, SpongeBob wants to be there even earlier and thinks they should take a shortcut. Squidward tries to explain why there is no shortcut and why they should not try to find one, but SpongeBob still thinks he should, as he states his belief that there is always a shortcut. There's always a shortcut. Squidward then asks SpongeBob on what moron told him that nonsense, as Patrick conveniently walks by them and says that there is always a shortcut, making Squidward understand it was him. SpongeBob says that he is going to find the shortcut, as Squidward shows that the restaurant is up ahead with Mr. Krabs standing outside. SpongeBob asks Squidward if he wants to join, but the latter declines, so SpongeBob takes a different path, thinking he can find a shorter way to get there, but bumps into Squidward walking in the normal path, who repeats his words, though he sees that SpongeBob still does not get it. He then tries to take another shortcut and finds himself in an unusual part of the town. SpongeBob tries to think it is a great shortcut and tells himself not to forget his wilderness training. He tries to remember what Sandy said, and then proceeds to find the Krusty Krab. He tries to do what he learned from wilderness training, starts with local landmarks, and assigns a broken fire hydrant as his landmark. He then spots a sign that appears to be the Krusty Krab sign, so he climbs over a fence and runs to it. The scene pans to the Krusty Krab with Squidward relaxing in his workstation, and then Mr. Krabs appears telling Squidward to stop lazing around, even though there are no customers. The scene cuts back to SpongeBob going toward what he thinks is the Krusty Krab, but it turns out to just be a sign that says the Krabby Crust. He notices a fish painting signs and asks him if he knows where the Krusty Krab is, but said fish, Sal, says he has never heard of it. SpongeBob tells him about it, gives him coupons, and then Sal goes there on his truck without SpongeBob. SpongeBob cries, remembers to use his landmarks, and then tries to go back where he came from, but cannot remember too well. He finds the broken fire hydrant he found previously, but then he notices many broken fire hydrants. SpongeBob then finds a payphone and calls Squidward for help. The operator interrupts the call and tells him that if he wants to continue the call, he needs to insert another dime, but he does not have one. He spots an abandoned sofa and then sees three tough-looking fish drinking soda, and SpongeBob tries to reach under the cushions of said sofa to see if there are any dimes, but instead, he finds 2 nickels. One of the fish, Scott, asks him what he is doing, and SpongeBob tells him that he is looking for a dime. Scott shouts at SpongeBob and says that he drives a pedicab, so the latter hops into the former's pedicab and tells him that he needs to go to the Krusty Krab. Scott drops him off to what he thinks is the restaurant, but it turns out to be the Krusty Clam. SpongeBob begins frantically running, checks his watch, and then starts to make another shortcut, which causes him great pain, but finally finds the Krusty Krab for him. He crawls to it and enters, and then hugs 2 customers and kisses one of the elderly customers. He finds Patrick there and asks him how he got to the restaurant. Patrick says that Scott gave him a ride, which he always does, and Scott is seen outside waving at SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs appears and says that SpongeBob is scaring his customers away with his foul stench and tells him to go home and take a bath. Squidward protests that was his thing, but Mr. Krabs says that the former is clean. As a result, Squidward starts to roll around in the dirt and asks where his bubble bath is. Mr. Krabs sprays Squidward with a hose as Sal shortly comes to the Krusty Krab on his truck and runs over a puddle, which splashes onto Squidward. Mr. Krabs orders Squidward back to work and Sal asks about the coupon. Mr. Krabs then says it is actually another fee, and Sal realizes his error, but still wants food. They walk off screen, with Squidward still left in the puddle, as the episode ends. And that's how the episode goes. I don't know who likes or hates this episode. So I'm just going to leave it be. Screw Lost in Bikini Bottom. And screw the fishbowl. Patrick's coupon is 80 million times better than Lost in Bikini Bottom. End of rant.